being willing to do things when I don't feel like it or don't want to sometimes, and him understanding doing things or not doing things sometimes. Yeah, so I think that's really the big thing. I don't know where your mind is going, young lady. Make it last forever.
Don't let I love you.
All right, everyone, welcome back for a little TLC. We're so glad that you could join us for this video. So for the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about attraction. So hopefully you've seen the video with the men and also with the women. But what's the point in learning how you can attract a future spouse if you can't even keep them around once you get them? So this week, we're going to hear from some couples who have been together for varying amounts of years. And I think they're going to give y'all a lot of wisdom about how you can keep your marriage hot and fresh, and how you can make that thing last. So we're going to start off with some introductions. They'll tell you how long they've been together and hopefully where they had met and anything else they might want to say tonight. So we'll start with Keisha and Eric Bluford.
Yeah, of course. All right. So we've been together 30 years. It will be 30 years. What is the date? September what?
30 years.
No.
Which is 27.
September 27th. So we'll be together 30 years, September 27th. We've been married 21 years. And I'm going to ask him to say where we met so I can see if he remembers like where we actually met.
First met?
Yes.
With the association?
No, that's not where we first met. So he doesn't know where we first met. We first met on a school bus.
Oh, man, you went way back. Good gracious, girl. Yeah.
That's where we met on our way to school.
You can't count that.
That's what
I
we
like
met.
association.
Association.
Yeah.
We really met, man. Yeah, school bus, yeah.
That's when he began to pursue me at the association.
There you go. So the school
but
bus.
We met on the school bus.
We talking about it as a relationship, not when you first sing something.
That's not what she said.
Oh, Lord. Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord. We're going to
What was the question again? When did we first meet? Oh, God. See
so
look at this. I'm going to teach somebody something.
Y'all met somewhere between the school bus and the association.
I like the way you put association. We call it association. Ain't that right, Kiki?
Association.
It is the association, but we call it association.
Okay. That's before my time. Okay. We're going to transition to an introduction from Felix and Deanne Castro.
Well, hi, my name is Felix, my wife Deanne. We've been married 31 years. We've been together 33 years. Anything else? Oh.
We met on the USS Holland in Charleston, South Carolina. AS-32 in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Hey, Felix, he's not going to try to correct her.
Oh, I'm not going to do nothing. You go to the next call. I've been married, no bad.
Okay, next, Iris and Kiki Smith.
I'm Iris and this is Kiki. We met at Eastern High School back in 1985. I was 15, he was 17. We've been together off and on for 36 years, and we've been married for 9 years. That's it.
Awesome. EA, you know. All right, and lastly, an intro from Brooke and Orlando Day.
I'm Brooke, this is Orlando. We have been together for 13 years. We've been married for 5 years. We first officially met. Go ahead.
We met in middle school in 8th grade. But before that, I noticed her in the parking lot of church at Miles Chapel.
Yeah, I don't know your name, but excuse me, miss. Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start off with I don't even know if this is an easy question, but y'all can kind of jump in however you see fit. What has been most important to sustaining your marriage?
I guess I can start. I mean, and you can chime in. I guess the most important in sustaining the marriage has been two C's. Communication is one, and compromise is the other.
That
So
is perfect. That's what we were going to say.
Exactly.
yeah. So I think all the ladies agree, just keeping the lines of communication open. I am more of a communicator than Eric is. And so I kind of have to get it all out there, my likes and dislikes. He doesn't have a problem with his, he'll more hold stuff in. We've gotten better like over the years, but that was like an issue. But anyway, learning just how to communicate, not building up and, learning each other or whatever, but then compromise and being willing to compromise, even some things that I want to happen, being willing to meet in the middle, being willing to do things when I don't feel like it or don't want to sometimes, and him understanding doing things or not doing things sometimes. Yeah, so I think that's really the big thing. I don't know where your mind is going, young lady, but yeah, it is important to compromise. And to
Eric, let them be right when they're wrong.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we ain't never wrong.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Even though we probably are really right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, you're right.
Yeah, everybody agrees.
Definitely.
Well, look,
Two simple rules.
I would say it's 3 C's. You got to add Christ in there because it wasn't for the Lord. I don't know. Yeah.
We want the Lord. Yes, Jesus.
Yeah, got to add Christ.
He gonna show me up, show the preacher up and mention Christ.
No.
Oh, Eric.
Yeah, that's definitely what puts us on one accord. I have to agree, dear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down. Communication, Christ, and compromise. We can come away with those things. Put a big C and
Definitely.
Might just drop the mic. All right, video's over. I'll see y'all next time. I'm just kidding. So the men were they were a little bit quiet though.
Yeah, because we scared to say something.
I'll piggyback off of that because those were my two things, compromise and because I mean you don't always have to be right. I mean you don't always have to agree on everything, but at least if you get out what you have to say and the other person knows how you're feeling and you know how they're feeling, you can come to a compromise to make it work to where it's not festering into anything else.
Yeah.
And also don't hold it in like Keisha said, because we have really had some blow ups and it's like, well, where was this at when it happened? If you hold it in for so long and all of a sudden it's just that one little extra nugget that sends you over the top, then it can be a blow up. I mean, major blow up. So I done divorced him a couple of times.
Oh, man.
I am interested to know because it sounds like the ladies are a little bit more talkative. So men, what is your communication style? What does that look like for you?
I don't know. It's more so, maybe like when the time is right kind of thing. I don't know, like maybe when we have everything, like all of our thoughts lined out and we have examples. Like sometimes we have to come prepared when we're trying to communicate. Especially like something that's going to be controversial. So we have to have everything in order.
You gotta make sure you got all your notes in order and everything.
There you go.
Dates, times, places. A lot of times for me, it's just I always live by the rule. I need to choose what hill I choose to die on, and sometimes it's just better to let things go. As long as nobody got hurt, no money got lost, we good. We move on with whatever. But I'm always deciding which where do I want to continue the conversation, or do I want to say, hey, you know what, it's not even worth it. We'll just move on with life.
But I find that a problem because just think about it. It's gonna come back around again, I guarantee you. So when it comes back around, well, why do you tell me on the spot instead of waiting until now? And that causes an argument or a deep discussion to happen.
And my nature is I'm not confrontational.
Yeah.
I don't like to argue. I don't like to have fights.
Right.
So I'd rather just let things go and not worry about it. And that's just me, because that's who I am.
Too.
Yeah. And that's just who I am. And so I try to bring it into a position where maybe if we're calmed down, we're talking, we're having dinner, or we're just kind of relaxing, watching TV, whatever, or we're in the car driving somewhere, I bring up the conversation. Now, sometimes I get the backlash of, well, that happened a week ago. And I said, yeah, but I'm thinking about it now. I want to talk about it now. So, but it has to be, I just choose what hill I'm gonna die on.
I have to agree with Minister Deanne that I don't like for you to hold things up and then you're just gonna dump on me and I'm gonna go in like, like, what's up? You should have brought that up when it came. We're adults, you know what I'm saying? We've been together forever. We in it for the long haul. Tell me how you feeling, and so don't dump on me.
But it goes back to for me, and I speak for myself. It goes back to how you were raised, and I never saw my parents argue. I never saw them have. Once. In the 60 years that they were married, I saw them argue once. So it's hard to understand how to bring up a point when you never seen an example of it. Mm-hmm. So I wrestle with that because my number one priority in this marriage is to make her happy. So if I choose to argue with her now, I'm not doing my number one purpose. So it becomes a controversy. Then it also becomes, how do I bring this up? How do I talk to her about it? Because I guess it's just something that I don't want to go back and forth. I hate going back and forth. That's not my deal. Let's talk about it and get it over with, move on. But sometimes we go back and forth, and my PTSD kicks in, and it's just like, we're done. This conversation is over. We're not going to discuss this anymore because we're not moving anywhere. Neither one of us. And the problem with us is we're both A personality persons. We're the alpha persons in each one of us. And so when we butt heads hard.
I can say, well, the first thing I want to say about your parents, not ever hearing them have an argument, that was a good trick. Them some musicians.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. That was a good trick on both their parts.
I'm telling you, man. My thing is, I know me. I'm a laid back person, but she'll tell you I got a real bad temper. Okay, but so what I find that works for me, I'm like you. I just want to wait until I'm calmed down. Mm-hmm. I got a right state of mind before I say anything because I don't have the best tact either. I might say something or do something that I can't take back. So it might look like, I don't want to talk about it. But, well, they don't look. I don't want to talk about it right there. Let me get my mind straight. Like Orlando said, I want to get everything in order. Yeah. So when we talk about it, we can really have a real open conversation about it because it won't be open if I'm mad. It's
right. So. Absolutely.
Yeah, because when it's heated, when the conversation is heated, the argument, she's not gonna stop. Yeah. So I'm the one that's gotta pump the brakes. You know what I'm saying? She's not gonna stop.
Because I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
I think we all got I think we all got that same issue.
Wow, that is really interesting that we're all a lot the same because I'm gonna get it out.
Me too.
Yeah.
I am.
I gotta say what I gotta say. I mean,
I can walk off.
he'll just walk off and
He
won't
right,
say
he
one
right
thing.
behind you.
Yeah,
Dead on my
that's
heels.
him.
You walk
She on my heels there.
I'm behind you walking. I'm walking behind you. I am following you.
We can
I
finish.
am too. I don't care where I'm going to. I'm gonna finish
We
saying
can
what I
finish
gotta
and I'm
say.
like, oh wait, I forgot this thing. And
Me
I'm gonna
too.
have to
Me too.
30 minutes later. 30 minutes later. 30 minutes later. After all the bumpers have gone down, you're settled.
Come right back.
But as you grow as a couple, you learn how to deal with things better and in different ways that makes things work. Because I've learned to do better. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that.
I agree, Iris. Same here. Early in our marriage, I'm telling you, it was a whole different tune. I promise you. I mean, I promise you. But you know, we have a lot of years in, and so we have learned to work through issues and work through different circumstances and better able to communicate by sitting down and talking to one another. So I agree with you. It does take years of practice.
Yeah. And we don't want to push, you know, I mean, like biblically, the more we learn, and y'all know this, the more we learn, we're not supposed to push these buttons. We're not supposed to go to bed angry. And so we do try to practice what we preach and what we've heard taught and things like that. So we have gotten better, but I cannot say that I am perfect in that. I mean, I argue for a living. And so I like to win, but yeah. And so Erica hates it. Like if she's in the car with me and Eric, and I'm like pushing them buttons a little bit, she was like, please leave him alone. Because he can't, I mean, Eric is so mild-mannered. People would not believe that he has this temper. Kiki, you probably know that Eric has a temper. You've known him a long time, probably longer than me.
I know, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
The guys.
Yeah, but he can. You gotta watch them quiet ones. You gotta watch them. So,
but Kiki he's so laid back, and he just, I mean, it takes a whole lot to get him.
You done something to make me
I'm
mad.
Sometimes I get mad because he don't get mad. Like I'm like, what? Yeah.
But the issue too is that in women, I'm gonna generalize this. Y'all know what buttons to push. We used to call them needles, and you know what needle to insert where to get a reaction, and that's something that was a real issue for us, because she would insert them. She would say something, and then she would come with that needle at the end, and that little needle would prick you, you know, and it's like wait, you know. What are we talking about here? We talk about one thing now and another thing later. What are we doing? So yeah, those are the ones that kind of used to get me a lot was that little needle she was throwing there.
Y'all really said a lot in there. I'm just like, number one, I'm shocked and amazed that I have women and men of similar personalities, like in all of the couples. I don't know what this says about me or what it says about y'all, but I'm cool with it. But y'all did talk a lot about how like y'all have different communication styles, but it's important for y'all to learn those things about each other, and you get better with dealing with those communication differences the longer that you are together. So it's not completely like, don't throw the relationship out the window if y'all have communication differences. Just learn to know your partner and work with what they're giving you. And I do think that one thing that the men talked about, even in the men's video by themselves, the men talked about how for them communication is like, let me go get by myself and gather my thoughts a little bit and then I'll come back when I'm ready to talk. And so it's good to hear that that doesn't necessarily change when you get married. That just might be like how y'all get down. And we as talkative ladies might just have to learn how to get with that.
Yeah.
It really goes back to the Bible where David goes into the cave and he spends some time in the cave by himself. And that's what we usually have to have. We have to have that caveman experience of isolating ourselves, kind of getting our thoughts together, then coming back.
I think that's good because men and women are different. Like I believe biologically we are different, and so it's not surprising that we have different ways that we communicate and different ways that we need to recharge and then come back. Like that just makes sense. Sometimes I don't think we want to acknowledge that we have those biological differences, but we do. Okay, so we talked about communication, compromise, and Christ. Is there anything else that y'all want to add to what has been most helpful to sustaining your marriage?
Learn to laugh. Learn to laugh at the things that might happen. Say, for instance, I'm a quick example. You know, when you go out and you buy like these bookshelves that or TV stands that got to be put together. It's a together couple project.
Don't do that if you're newlywed.
Don't do it early in marriage. Wait until you count a little seasoned, because I'm telling you. So if you put something on backwards, we recently, I guess about 6 months ago, we put a TV stand together upstairs, and he put the shelves on backwards or upside down twice.
You ain't got to tell him everything now. You gotta know all
And,
that.
you know, I'm like, okay, just let me know when you get ready. Instead of me blowing up, earlier in the marriage, I would have said, you know, just let me do it. I can do it better than you can. You know, I would have insulted him, but I've learned that just laugh about it and have fun, enjoy doing projects together.
I like that, and that gets me to like know what each other's gifts are, and Eric can walk in his gifts. You know, we're a team, and so there are things that Eric can do that I cannot do. There are things that I can do that Eric just does not do. But it makes a team. Eric is not like, you know, he's not like the finance person, whatever. I remember when we first got together, oh my God, they would not take our money at this bank because he had bounced so many checks there. So I'm like going into making the deposit. It was like, no. I mean, like, how does a bank not take your money?
We've been there.
That means you are like, oh my God. But that is not his strength. But he has his other strengths where he fixes things. He does things like right then. His faith is really strong, like where I won't maybe like branch out on some things. He will, and it ends up being the right thing. And so that's another thing, just like allowing the other person to operate in their gifts. The other thing that I will say is very important is I believe keeping people out of your business to a large extent. Because just say if me and Eric have an issue, if I tell my mother, she's going to continue to hold it against my husband, and I'm ready to be done with it. But you still want to bring that up, and I have forgiven, and I moved on. And I don't want you talking about my man. I don't want you talking about him no more because I'm done with it. So you just have to be. So you have to be careful who you let in, because when you're ready to move on, they may not be ready to move on.
So true.
So yeah, just be careful on who you let in to your, you know, you have issues and you can talk and things like that, but I have my faithful couple really that can really get in, and I know that it's not going to go anywhere, and I know that when I'm ready to forgive, they have forgiven too.
That's absolutely the truth. I agree with you 100% on that. I have seen that in action.
Yeah, I think those are good. I did want to expound upon one thing that Deanne talked about, which is just like learning to laugh and essentially learning to have fun together. So I do want us to talk about like how you continue to date your spouse. Is dating your spouse important? If yes, what are some things that y'all do for fun? And like, how do you make time, especially as you as you progress in your relationship and your careers and your family?
You said a date night.
We have a date night. We usually do a date night. We call it a date night. The girls call it nothing. But we just, if we don't do anything but just go out to eat or something. And I mean, we like a lot of the same things. So, I mean, we like sports. It's a lot of stuff that we do that we like anyway. So, I mean, and we love keeping our grandsons. So, I mean, it's just everything that he likes to do, I like to do too. He likes to fish. I will fish if he don't go in a creek or a pond somewhere where I can't walk.
Is this typical? I mean, to go for hours without a bite?
Well, the only thing predictable about fishing is that it's unpredictable.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, why don't you ponder that for a while? Quietly.
But most of the time, we just do stuff but most of the time, we'll just sit on our front porch and listen to music all day long and just sit there and chill. I mean, that's just what we like to do. We're homebodies. We like to be at home. We like to be around family. So, when the kids come, that makes us happy. When the grandbaby comes, that makes us happy. So we just enjoy our lives, just enjoying each other and our families.
Well, for us, it's important to have a date night or an opportunity. Now, what we usually do, or what we were doing prior to the COVID, we would actually make weekends that we would go like to the beach, go Friday, come back Sunday, stuff like that. But our date nights would be like maybe go to a movie or something like that. Nothing spectacular, but other than those, like once a quarter we used to go to the beach. That's our favorite place to go.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we definitely think it's important. If you don't make time, though, it won't happen, at least for us, with like two small kids and like working. So we really, I think the biggest adjustment for us is like realizing that a date night, like it's really whatever you make it. And so it doesn't have to be going out to dinner or even leaving the house for us. It may be that we put the boys to bed and instead of like sitting on the couch and just like watching TV, we like decide to like watch like a video together and talk about it. And so it's like, it just depends on what we can do, but it's definitely important for us to make the time. We do like to get away. Somebody will keep our kids. And so we do lean on grandparents and aunts and uncles for that. But even then, like just a day away or a couple of days away, it really means a lot. It doesn't have to be like, we used to like live for like the week-long vacations, and we don't really do those as much.
Yeah, having hobbies and activities that you both enjoy helps a lot. Like we both like going to different breweries and tasting, different type of beers and things like that. Or, we've been hiking a few times, just anything, honestly, that you can, do together and have fun and grow together, mostly in those things.
That's cute.
What's that?
What's your date night?
Whatever you like.
Whatever you like.
Good answer. Good answer, Eric. Good answer.
We like to, sometimes we have date hours because we don't have time for a whole night. We start watching the same TV shows. And so, that'll be like our time, maybe just a couple of hours at night, just because of our schedules are very, very busy. We have like a little hotel down the street. We say it's away, but it's like really by Cracker Barrel down the road. But I like my house, and my house is probably better than the hotel. But we like going there because it's just, it's just us, and we can talk, or we can sleep all day if we want to, or whatever else we want to do and make it, anyway, we can go there and watch more TV. My daughter is on here, but anyway, we like
Don't
to do
try
that.
that like you spare me. Don't try that like
I don't spare her. Yeah, she knows. But we like movies. I watch football with Eric sometimes just because he likes sports and stuff. So I don't know if he really likes it when I watch because I talk a lot and ask questions. Is that why you're laughing? I don't think he likes it when I watch. I do try to watch sports with him. I
love it when you watch it.
And I'm learning more about sports. So I mean, church to me, it might sound lame, but it's a big deal for us, and we can come and talk about it, and we just really, really enjoy church together, don't we? Yeah, we do. Yeah, so
it's funny. She asks him, then she answers for him.
We love it, don't we? Yeah, we do. Yeah, but he tells me that he loves it and things like that. So we like going out with our friends. We have a couple friends that we like to go out and hang out with. Yeah, so I think I'm more so like couple things and group things than you. Yeah, I like couple things. He has a couple of couples that he does like to go out with though. But more so, I like group things. We like to dress up here and there. I like to dance.
I do too, and he doesn't dance.
Eric don't like it as much as me, but I love
baby, keep it in the pocket.
Yeah,
I love it. He don't dance at all. I love it.
Oh, he don't dance
just
at
watches
all?
me. No.
What, Kiki? You look like the two-step kind of guy.
No, but when I met him, he was dancing.
Sorry.
But he doesn't dance.
Wow.
I
would have never guessed.
He likes to watch me dance.
Yeah.
He don't like to dance. He don't care if I go dance.
I don't care
in the
who she
world.
dance with. I like to see her dance.
Okay. Well, at least you can dance. He likes to watch you dance. I think that's sweet too. Yeah, but I love to dance. I can do the slides all night. Kayla Deanne. I love them.
Yes. Yes.
So this is not something that I put on the the sample questions, but we have talked a lot about like things that you all can do together. But I'm just wondering, like, if it's important for you all to have like your own hobbies and groups of friends outside of your marriage. Like, is that important at all?
Yes, absolutely. I can't remember who it was that told me you should always have they time, we time, and I time. They time is your family, your children, whatever. We time is just us two. Then I time is just you by yourself. I like to read. So there are times my I time is I'll go into my office and I'll pull something up, an article or something on the internet, or pull out a book or something and read. She likes to watch movies. So yeah, that's very important to have your own time together and apart.
So are you asking like friends outside or just alone time? What are you asking?
I think either.
Yeah, me, as far as like the friends outside, I think it's okay, but as far as me, yeah, I don't need to have it. But as far as like my own time, you just let me piddle around the house or, fix a few things. I do love doing that. So I think that's important to have that little time to yourself. But as far as like having like a whole different set of friends or something outside of, our relationship, I don't care too much for it. I mean, I don't need it.
Hey, I hope none of your friends listen to this.
They my friends, they know me.
I think it's definitely important to have something like to have time apart and not feel like you have to do everything together. I would say like my friends, I would consider them his friends and vice versa, but I do have girls' nights. And he will get together with his friends and and that's okay. Like we enjoy that time, but I feel like I am not a me time person. I never have been. And when we first got married, that was a big adjustment for me because he likes me time. And I would like literally just be in our apartment. I literally one day just left and walked down in downtown Greensboro talking to my mom on the phone. I was like, I don't know what to do. He's in there playing video games. I'm so bored. I just wish that there were more people here that I could talk to. But I'm used to being like in a house full of people, and like if like my sister who likes me time needed me time, then I just go bother my brother or my mom or my dad. But it was just us. I was like, well, I guess I'm having me time too. And it was an adjustment for me, but it gave me an opportunity to like, I started reading more, and I started like watching shows that I knew he wouldn't even ever want to watch. And so it's like, it was an adjustment, but now I'm grateful for like that kind of rubbing off on me, where I like a few minutes or a couple of hours or even a day to myself.
It's very important, well, you know, in my opinion, that you have, you know, your time to yourself. You know, you're still an individual. You know, you're still yourself outside of your couple. You know, you and your spouse, you and your partner. You're still, you know, Orlando. You're still Brooke. So you have to keep those same things that, you know, make you who you are. So yeah.
I think I'm a lot like Brooke. Like, I'm always like, somebody come in here and talk to me. I can be in the bathroom. I can be anywhere. And I'm like, stay there and talk to me.
That sounds silly.
I'm bored. Yeah, so I need to get used to my me time. I mean, if I'm working on, if I'm studying the word or something like that, that's a different thing. But other than that, I'm always like, somebody come and talk to me. So am I needy?
I always walk around.
I'm watching you.
I don't.
So you don't really.
He said I'm always walking around on the phone. That's not true. A lot of times I'll be in the bedroom watching my reality shows or something. If he's watching something here, or if he comes in the bedroom, he'll watch the reality shows and he tries to act like he doesn't like them, but he does. But
no, that's my me time with. I mean, that's our time together. Cause she gonna race to the bedroom. We can start off in the living room watching television. She gonna sneak off to the bedroom so she can get her show on first. And
that's not true. The furniture's not comfortable. I just want to be laying on the bed looking at TV. But his me time is fishing, and that's fine with me. He in the summertime he may go fishing every single day after work, and that is fine with me. I'll come home and just be here by myself, and I'm fine. I'm just fine. It doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, we have our time where he does his thing, or my only thing I do is go to the grocery store by myself, and that, you know, but it's all good. I'm fine with it, just like it is.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to touch on that just to see what y'all's thoughts were about the need to continue to be an individual person, even though you are in a relationship. Because I don't think a lot of people talk about that. It's like either you're single or you're in a relationship, spending all your time together 100% of the time. And that, to me, freaks me out a little bit as someone who does like me time. I have a little bit of space, please. Just a little bit.
I hear you.
I don't know.
If Daddy is agreeing.
Agreeing with what?
I thought you said when she said she just needed a little bit of time by herself.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's just I guess a figure of speech saying you spend all your time together. Because if you got a job, you can't sit at the house all day. You got to go out and you want to eat, don't you? So you got to go out and work and do something. So you can't spend all your time together, even if you wanted to.
Deanne and Felix are retired. So.
Well, you know, that's a whole different ball.
Felix just said he's going to get by himself.
Well, actually, because we have a grandbaby that we keep, so we share that responsibility as well. But he sneaks away more than I do, and it's okay. I'm good with that because when he was pastoring, I like to give him his space as well at that time. So I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like you were about to say something, Kiki, and then
you know,
she probably told him to shut up.
No, it's you know, to me, she's my best friend. So I don't really need that time away from her. You know what I'm saying? I always like being around her. You know, she's funny. I try to be funny sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I mean, Eric, if you've had times where you hang around your best friend all the time. I mean, this is pretty much, I enjoy being around her. Mm-hmm. So I don't really need it. I don't really need that space. That's what I wanted to say.
Kiki trying to get him some brownie points on this video, y'all.
I know she knows I've always said that though.
Mm-hmm.
That's sweet.
Yes. That Mac game on her. Okay. Important question. And I need for y'all to justify your answer, okay? Is it important for you to A, keep up the things that attracted your spouse to you, or B, for your spouse to learn to love the person that you grow into?
50-50.
I think it's an evolutionary thing, because I'm not the same person I was 31 years ago, and neither is she. And so we've picked up some habits and we've dropped others, and so we're a different person. Our personality is different. Our likes and dislikes are different.
Our looks are different. He does not have any hair that he had when I married him. None.
This is looking like.
I can't win. I can't argue with that one. It's the truth. Hey, I lost it on the top, gained it on the bottom right here. So what can I say?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's a thing. It's you learn to love each other as you go through life, because you're always learning each other. There's always something new that we pick up. I mean, you know, we're not the same. I don't have the same mentality I had when I was 20 something that I have now that I'm 64. So, you know, I think it's an evolutionary thing that happens in a marriage, and you have to continue to grow with it.
And let me say this real quick. Because I grew up in a broken home, my mother raised 4 girls. And because we didn't have a male in our house, when I met Felix, I kind of gravitated to him. Well, he haunted me, but anyway, that's another story.
Not haunted.
Needless to say, when I agreed to marry him, let's start right there. I kind of gravitated to him, and it was just really about us. You know, I had went away to the military, and so I left all the cares of North Carolina behind me, and that inclusive of, you know, the good, bad, and the ugly. So for me, I thank God for him, because he has taken me places, showed me things that I never would have experienced had I stayed in North Carolina. Had I even not joined the military, it's a lot of things that I have experienced in life with him. So, yeah.
I think I'm with Kiki. I'm on the 50-50 thing. I think it's important, and then we talked about it. I think it's important for some things that some things should stay the same. The things that you did to woo me, the things that I did to attract him or whatever, I think that some things should stay the same. Eric really was a protective type person. He was a provider. Even from the very beginning, he spoiled me and took care of me. We were high school sweethearts. I was still in high school. Eric picked me up every day. He worked a second shift job at the time, and he would come and take me to school every day of my senior year. And so, I mean, so I had never had anybody really to take care of me like that. And I could have an expectation of him, even though he was a really young man. He was a hard worker and had it together. So the fact that he was a hard worker, was a protector and a provider, those things I need to stay the same. Those are some of the things that really it made him stand out among other young men. So those things I need to stay the same. The things that change, I mean, of course we've changed. Of course our looks and things like that have changed. It's like this song, I'm gonna love you if your hair turns gray. Love you if you gain a little weight.
Even if your hair goes away.
Ow. So some things, I agree with Felix too, that it evolves and that we change and we have to embrace the changes. A lot of things that we're doing together, I didn't see coming. I didn't see me pastor and I didn't even see me preaching and things like that. But Eric has had to embrace that and I think God ordained that and helped us develop in those things together. So I agree with Kiki. It's a little bit of both. Some things need to stay the same, but we do need to embrace the natural changes as well.
Yeah, and speaking of taking care of, he used to bring me a biscuit to school every day. If he didn't have money to bring me a biscuit, he would make me a sandwich and wrap it in a loaf bread bag and bring it to school every single day. And he still cooks breakfast. That's our breakfast. He still will cook breakfast.
I'm telling you, those things, they make those impressions. They make those lasting impressions. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. We're the only couple out of the four of us that he wasn't a high school sweetheart. He didn't come from this area. So it's interesting to hear see all three of you guys high school sweethearts or lovers or whatever they called it back then.
Lovers.
Not lovers.
Me and your dad were lovers.
All right, moving right along. No, I'm just kidding. I do think those things make a difference though. Like the things that you did to woo your spouse, like try to keep those up. Like I think Daddy had cleaned Mama's car up and like put a fragrance in it, and this was recently. And she got in the car and she was like, my man cleaned my car. Let me tell you about when I first met your daddy, he would clean my car, fill it up with gas. And she like went on a 20-minute story about how he used to clean her car out and fill it up with gas and pick her up. It was just like, okay. But it gives her the warm and fuzzies. And so it is important for you to keep those things up. Even though I still don't want to hear about y'all calling yourselves lovers though. It's a bit too much for your girl.
Those are people who love.
Not when you say it like that.
Moving on.
Please.
You can't stop saying it. Love us. Love us.
Erica, like, next question.
Next question. Okay. So this one I want to know, just because. So how do y'all deal with like third-party attraction, or do you just never think that anybody else other than your spouse is attractive from the time that y'all get together?
I think one thing you have to do is accept that it's natural to find like other people attractive. I think as long as you accept that and you know that you can't act upon those things, those wants or lusts or whatever it is, I think that's an easy way to kind of get over that hurdle. Just come to the realization that it happens. There's billions of people on this earth, so things like that is going to happen.
Yeah, and it's like, to me, it's like you can look at somebody like, I could be watching TV and be like, he's fine, but that is not to me like the same level of attraction that I have for Orlando. Like, I'm attracted to him not just physically, but on like an emotional, like spiritual level, and so I'm never really close enough with anybody else to say that I'm as attracted to them as I am to him. Like, I can't even, to me, it's like not a comparison. Like I don't know, like physical is like just that may be what catches your eye, but that's not like why you marry somebody. It can't just be a physical thing.
That's why you would risk your marriage for someone.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's good word.
Say that.
Why y'all young bucks up here doing it like that? Y'all doing it.
We'll agree on somebody looking good. Like, or if it's a woman or something, he'll say I say, oh yeah, she cute. Or it don't bother me. It don't bother me at all. I don't know about him. I'll say if I see somebody like The Rock, oh my God. If I see him, if he's on TV, I'm like, oh my God, he is just fine. Just fine. But he knows what it is.
Kiki's
we know each other
one
like
more time to talk about The Rock.
LL and The Rock. Well, yeah. Well, we were at. I think to share this real quick. We were at a. I don't know what it was, a concert or something, and LL was letting you come take pictures with him. And I went and I took a picture with him, and it lasted a long time. He was like, that sure was.
The camera broke when she got up there. So we went as a date. Now I'm over there looking stupid because LL got my girl for like 20 minutes. Everybody else went through. Everybody else went through, and it was like 2-3 minutes. You take a picture and go.
We were talking.
She's sitting up there 20 minutes just grinning. That was a trip.
Wow,
that's funny. That is funny.
And he got rid of the picture. I don't know where that picture went.
Wow, Kiki, really?
No evidence of the night.
I didn't do it though.
I don't know if I believe
doing it, but I didn't do it.
What do you think? Third party attractions.
Oh, I agree. I think Lando, you pretty much summed it up, man. I mean, it's natural to be attracted or find somebody else attractive, but I mean, that's all it can be. And I think if you get to the place where you feel like that can't nobody catch your eye, that's when you're in a bad spot. Okay, well, as long as you know it's possible, you will stay away from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. To not to is as they say on that what was that? Cars. To not to.
What did I tell you about talking to the accused? To not to.
I say don't entertain it, right. And I also say that sometimes you have to openly, show some type of togetherness. People will try you. You can be married, pregnant, whatever. People will try you. So I mean, don't act like it can't happen to you. Like Orlando said, just be cognizant of it and just know that it's not, like we said, it's not going anywhere. But let folk know you go there and I'll tell it. They won't do that. If, Eric has my passwords to all of my social media, everything like that. I have his, and I can go in there if I want to. I can look at his phone. He don't do nothing to kind of make me. He don't take his phone in the bathroom, and I'm wondering, just don't do nothing to make me feel insecure. And I try to respect him and do the same thing. I think Eric be lying sometimes. He like I'm the finest thing in the world. That joke a lying. I know he lying.
To me.
But that's what he says. And really he really sounds convincing sometimes. And I'm just like, whatever. But either if I see a big old booty, I'm looking. So I know you saw that, but he'll ask me to see it. But I'm looking at the big old booty. So I know you saw that big old booty, but he'll just act like I won't be paying attention.
He can't turn around.
Just do like Iris and Kiki. They just both be like, yeah, I can see that.
Eric, I don't turn around.
I just say, don't.
I see like you see.
Yeah.
You see it coming.
You notice it, but you don't even entertain it.
That's it.
Okay,
yeah.
Big booty. Keep going.
You said what?
I say you don't raise your eyebrows or nothing. You just
Right.
act like
keep it moving.
Act like.
Keep it moving.
Just be like.
Keep it moving.
Act like.
Keep it moving.
Just be like.
Be like.
Be like.
Hey, no, seriously. You do that because you don't even want that person to even think you even looking at them. So
right, you don't put yourself in
like
that kind of a position.
Yeah, that's why I'm like that. If I see it, no, I'm not. You won't know I seen it. I'm not gonna let you know I seen it.
But people will, like I said, if you look like you're entertaining something, people might take that the wrong way. And so you do have to protect, what people might think is it's a shame, but you can't give them a reason to think that anything can happen. You can't give them a reason because they might try you.
Right.
Yeah. I've had people inbox me and I'm sharing, I'm like, look, my husband is right here. I'm letting them know, they'll try to say something a little slick. They have tried to say something a little slick, you remember, and Eric is boiling, but I'm like, we can't destroy our witness or anything, but,
I'll destroy her. She the preacher.
You a deacon. You can't just, we're all Christians. You can't destroy our witness.
The Lord say lay hands on certain individuals.
I have no problem laying these hands. Try Jesus, don't try me, 'cause I throw hands.
Not that way.
It's in the Bible.
but I'll let them know, me and my husband are praying for you. I'll try to slide it in there in a certain way, but just let them know that you won't entertain it.
Well, I want to say this real quick. When Felix was pastoring recently, you know how people come up and greet the pastor after church and stuff, and it was this male chorus that was singing. I think it was on like a revival or something like that. And so everybody came down, and of course they introduced that I was his wife, Felix's wife. And but after church, the people were talking to him, and one of the gentlemen had already spoke to me, but he came up from out of nowhere and kissed me on my cheek. And I was so caught off guard. I was like, what just happened? I looked around like, and I went immediately to stand beside him because nothing changed between the time you got from that choir stand to down here on the floor. So I didn't tell Felix about it immediately when we got.
She knew better.
That's good.
I'm a pastor, but I'm still a husband first.
Yeah.
But it just, but people are bold. They are really bold, and especially if the pastor's busy,
Mm-hmm. And it so happened that I guess I had my back to them or whatever at that moment, because we're greeting different people at different times. So yeah, she didn't tell me till the next day or something like that. And so, I was like, wait, what? And then I wanted to get the CD for the video and all that. Now, because I mean, people will try you, and it goes for males, for females too. Females will try our wives, they'll hold on that hug just a little bit, 2 or 3 more seconds than you normally would, or they try to keep your attention.
Yeah.
And I've seen it all. I mean, I've seen it all. I always try to be aware, and if anything funny, like anything that might even be just twisted out of shape, I tell her. So that way, when they come and tell her what had happened, she could say, "Oh, he already told me about it."
Yeah.
And that just cuts it off right there.
Embarrassed.
Eliminates everything right there. She's not caught off guard.
Right.
I think that's good. Y'all just said so much good stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that at that. Unless y'all need me to provide a summary. No, I'll do it anyway for the video. So y'all talked about.
So why ask?
Dang, I definitely like my mom. Oh my gosh.
Don't we? Yeah, we do. Yeah, so
It's funny, she asks him this, she answers for him.
we love it, don't we? Yeah, we do.
It's a great thing.
You are a mirror.
I'm a lot. Yeah, I'm a lot like you. I'm not gonna summarize, okay? But I will ask y'all. I just have 2 more questions left. then I'm gonna let y'all, and by when I say y'all, I mean let myself go to bed because it is past my bedtime. So if y'all could give one piece of advice to someone who is single right now, what would it be?
For me, it's that is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. It's so I really wouldn't even know what to tell somebody, because dating today is so different from dating when I was dating my wife. I mean, you guys got apps now that you can swipe left and right and all that stuff. You know, it's just very different. What I would always tell somebody is just be true to yourself. Never try to compromise who you are to satisfy somebody else or to get with somebody else, whatever. Always be true to yourself and who you are. And that's the best thing you could ever do.
I honestly don't like the dating scene. You know, Lord forbid, if anything ever was to happen to Felix before myself, I just don't think that I would want to get into that dating scene. Like he said, be true to yourself. I mean, the dating scene is ugly to me, to be honest.
I would say two things. I would say, I mean, God, we haven't dated in so long, other than, you know, our marital dating that we talked about. So
Right.
Orlando and Brooke might be better for this because y'all have dated
They've
more.
been together for 100 years too.
I mean, I'm just saying, they've dated more recently than we have. And so, I mean, I guess some things I know just by talking to my girls and things like that, and some of the younger generation. The millennials is what they call you all now. But anyway, I would say, number one, you know, make sure you're dating someone who with whom you're equally yoked. And so I believe that that's very important. That would be, I think you should think about that. And I would also say, don't look for perfection. I believe in standards, but sometimes I think that I listen to my girls, for example, and I'm like, these standards, everybody may not meet everything, but there is a growing period where you grow together. Like some things that Eric, you know, you have to think about what you can compromise. I know that some things that he had to deal with where I was concerned, you know, were difficult, and we learned to compromise there. Some things that he had issues with or whatever, like I told you about the money issues and things like that. Those are things that we've learned, you know, to deal with together, but we're not very good in the very beginning. I remember the first Christmas that we could share. After that, Wachovia turned me away to put our money there. 1 year after he was, you know, doing better, he got a bank card in his stocking. Like we could actually have the same bank card, you know, but that evolved. So just be willing to grow in some things. Don't look for perfection or you might be alone forever. That's what I think. So yeah, equally yoked, but not perfect.
And that's pretty easy for her to say, because she found somebody that was close to perfection as you can get. So.
Oh my gosh. I will say to that point, I'm going to put a link to a book or a photo to a book called I Kissed Waiting Goodbye, because it talks about like having standards but not expecting perfection. So I think that'll be a good book to go along with the point that you just made. It's not about, I'm trying to think of a tactful way to say this. It's not about like having sex before marriage, even though the title is a little bit risque, but it's a really good read. So I'll put that in here for the single folks.
Any other advice for the singles?
I would say be patient. Don't rush into anything. Don't rush to, you know, have that white picket fence, 3 kids, stuff like that. Just be patient. Lean on God and just do things on His time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I'd say like pray about it. I think Jessica said it on the ladies video, but yeah, like sometimes even if you've been with somebody for a while, like it is sometimes hard. And I feel like it's even harder now in the dating scene to know if that person is really who you think they are after like a shorter period of time, and if they're the right person for you. And so I would definitely just say pray about it. Like, I wasn't even really like concerned about Orlando being the person for me. Like, I felt like confident in that, but I definitely prayed for guidance to know if this was who I was supposed to be with. Because sometimes like you may be focusing on certain things and you may be checking those boxes and that criteria that you have, but it's not your person. And God will remove them if they're not your person.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's good. Iris and Kiki, did y'all have any advice for the single people?
What do you tell your girls?
Yeah, we tell them so much, but I mean, I basically tell my girls that you want to be able to find somebody that's gonna be respectful to you and respect you as a person and what you believe, and just somebody that you feel like you said, y'all mesh together as far as y'all both got goals, you know, you willing to give 50-50, you know. You don't want to be in a relationship where it's 80-20, where you're giving your all and they're not giving anything. I don't mean material or money or anything. I just mean of themselves, because you want to try to find somebody that at least you're compatible with, that you can be, that can be your best friend. Because it's important to not just be with somebody for A or B or C.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's been a long time.
You're right.
Yeah, I would hate to be in that single scene right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody shaking their head. I ain't got no advice for you, y'all. Strong and wrong over here. Okay. This might be easier. For the last question, what is one piece of advice that you might want to give to another married couple?
I would say keep God in the center of your marriage first. Like, that's the only way that you stay on one accord. Any issue that you do have, like, that's what gives you the strength to work on that, and to like communicate through that. But also, like, know that each marriage is different. Each person is different. So like, if everybody's different, then two people coming together is going to be different. Don't compare yourself to like your friends that are married, even your parents.
You took mine.
Sorry.
Don't feel bad, Lana. She took mine too.
even like any other couple, like your marriage, you have to figure out what works for you, and you have to determine like how your marriage is going to look. Like, it may be that like it may not be like the traditional roles, maybe those look different for you, but whatever works for your marriage and your household is what you should do. As long as you're keeping God in the center, then it's going to work.
I think that you can drop the mic after that. Yeah. Keep God in the center. Yeah. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. That's what we've been dealing with. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all the things you need will be added. And that includes the peace and joy and strength of a good marriage. So yeah, definitely keep him first. I like how Brooke said, don't compare your marriage to, God, you're going to be so dissatisfied if you try to walk in somebody else. Everybody's situation is different. So your team may look different from somebody else's team. But you do what makes, sometimes I am giving 80 and Aries giving 20, but sometimes he's giving the 80, so, it just kind of depends, and we just make it work, and we can't care what it looks like to other people. I remember And I talked about this at Christianity After Dark, where when Eric was in school and I had to take care of all the kids, and I was pretty much doing everything. And really nobody had an issue with that because I'm a woman. But then when Eric had to do it, when I went back to law school, everybody had a problem with, Eric is doing all this stuff. I mean, maybe you've called him names and everything else. But that's what we had to do to be where we are now. That's what we had to do to make it work, even though it didn't look like the traditional thing for a substantial period of time. I couldn't go to all the games like I wanted, and Eric had to pick it up. But when she was on the other foot, I worked it too. So anyway, our team is our team, and we have to do what works for our team, even if it doesn't look like everybody else. So I appreciate you saying that. Do what you got to do. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's not original. I know that's not original.
I think that's a key word though, team. You are a team. Like, that's how you make it work. You do it together. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
Any parting words? Any other advice? Any closing thoughts?
I think the other piece of advice I would give married couples, especially, Pastor B touched on it with not letting everyone in your marriage, but especially for millennials, social media, everything doesn't have to go on social media. It's not for everybody to know everything that you're doing with your spouse. And your marriage isn't for show. It should be for you. And so you don't have to, no, you shouldn't let everybody in, but you also don't have to literally let the whole world in and post everything. If you have a conflict, deal with it between the two of you. It's always good to have a sounding board, like Pastor B said, those couple of people who you can trust. But it's not even beyond those people potentially staying mad when you're over it. It's just, there's really it's just hindering, and you're taking in other people's opinion when you really know who you're supposed to be talking to, and you should go and have that conversation without anybody else's opinion in your head. It's not beneficial.
The only thing I would add too is always be there for one another. That's really important to have each other's back, because you never know what's going to happen in life. And I refer to myself, 2016, 2017 was really rough for me. I lost my mom, my dad, and several of my aunts and uncles all together between June 2016 and December 2017. In December, I lost my best friend of 30 years, oldest. So that whole time she was there for me. She was there to help me and all that. And so you need to be there for each other. If nobody else is there, you need to be there for your husband or your wife. That's so important, because if I can't count on her and she can't count on me, then we're going to have some serious issues in a relationship.
Yeah. I agree. I nicknamed Eric my constant. I call him my constant, because no matter who turns their back on me or has an issue with me, I know that he's going to have my back. I know that he's going to care about what I'm going through. So it's good to have that constant, no matter what. And that's what he is. That's what he is to me. I can depend on him to be there when I can't depend on anybody else. And I think that's how it should be. And I want to be the constant for him too. So just like Kiki said, this is my best friend. I like you. I mean, it's good when you love the person, but I like you. I like to be around you. It doesn't bother me. I like it because I like you. So that I think that's important, to have that constant that you like.
You trying to do something tonight, ain't you? What are you talking?
With that, thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. I hope that you all learned a lot. Please leave a comment in the comment section if you agree with these couples. Let me know what you think about what they've said tonight. Y'all, please pray for me and my family. And I hope I will see you next week for a little TLC.
Wow. Talk to me like that, fuck. I'm speechless. I love you.
I'm gonna have to bleep y'all out. I'm gonna have to bleep y'all out. Oh, Lord.